again. Today I wanted to talk a bit about transparent painting, and one thing to start with is that I mainly paint opaquely, and that's how I was taught. That's the academic method generally, as opposed to glazing and scumbling and doing these nice tricks on your painting. There's nothing wrong with those, but I think they're good to be understood as tools rather than techniques to make a nice painting. So I have here a panel that is primed with black acrylic paint and white gesso, and that basically gives us a surface to work with both on dark and light, as scumbling is by definition adding a lighter paint on top, and glazing by definition would be adding something darker on a lighter surface. And that is a very simple way to classify these two things. Of course, when doing this, you're applying them transparently. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm gonna be using two different grays to show very well here on the surfaces how they react. And it's a bit of an experiment for myself to clarify this as well. These are middle value opaque grays that I'm using. There is a cool gray and a warm gray. These are by Rembrandt, straight from the tube. And these are some convenience colors I have used for landscape painting to mix grays faster and not having to use the more expensive, cadmiums or cobalt blues to mix these cooler grays. They work pretty nicely for that. But anyway, for this demonstration, I will first apply an opaque paint stroke here. Let's see if it is very visible. We'll expose it a bit better like this, so maybe you can see a bit more of the differences. And after this opaque stroke, I will dry brush a little bit to the side. I'll actually wipe a little bit more off. From this application you can see it is a little bit warmer and lighter than the fully opaque paint. And next I will add a little bit of medium. This medium is basically damar dissolved in Gamsol mixed with linseed oil and a little bit of stand oil. So this would be something you could use for a glazing medium. And here too, I'm applying it quite generously. You can see it is transparent. The ground is showing through a little bit. It is a lot lighter and a lot warmer than this opaque paint. This is something I mean to demonstrate here, especially this dry brushing thing. As with paintings, you generally, when you start out painting, you're quite stingy applying paint. You don't want to mix a lot, and you don't want to put enough paint on the palette because paint is pretty expensive, and it's kind of this reaction we have to it. And yeah, this is generally something students struggle with, and maybe one of the reasons they can't hit the right values and colors is because they're scrubbing on the paint. That actually changes the very appearance of the paint itself. Now, to move on to this darker area here, I'm gonna apply the same paint opaquely, of course, on the dark side as well. Looks a bit warmer on the dark, as it should. Maybe not on the camera. I'll take a proper photo and show you the results at the end. color corrected. And then I will just dry brush a little bit on. Now what one notices here is when essentially scumbling, meaning dry brushing or applying it with a medium thinly, lighter paint painted on a darker surface tends to darken and turn more cool in color temperature when you apply it over a darker surface. So the same principle applies when painting light over dark as with dark over light, where the color will change if you apply it too thinly. And here I am using a bit of the medium again. And the same thing happens here. Doesn't really matter if you dry brush or if you use a medium for the glaze, or scumble in this instance. So then let's do the cool swatches. Cool gray looks very cold compared to this light stuff here. Just wipe the brush off, apply just a little bit. Again, it's becoming lighter and a bit warmer as well. It's weird how this kind of cool gray can start appearing warm when you start putting it very transparently or translucently, however you want to say. They had the wrong color there. Do a proper one. So yeah, here as well, you can see it definitely warms up when applied more thinly. And let's do the final one. Here we put it opaquely. Wipe off a little bit and then scrub it on there. Looks a bit cooler still. And same with the medium applied. So basically there's a lot of discussion about what is glazing and scumbling. I think it is basically any lighter paint applied on a darker surface, regardless of if you use a nice medium, if you use a semi-opaque or semi-transparent or transparent paint. If you apply it on a darker surface and you see something happening there, then it's a scumble. That's to make it really simple. And with the glazing, you could call it basically dry brushing makes a glaze, medium applied makes a glaze. It's that simple. And darker over lighter makes it warmer and lighter. Lighter over darker makes it cooler and darker. That's to sum it up. I hope this clarifies some things. And if you want to actually nail the right color and value, then apply enough paint, because as you see, it really makes a difference. That's all for this demo. Thank you. I'm making this for actually a class I'm having later this year, and I think this set of swatches will be helpful for the students. So that's all for today. A short one, a bit of an informational video. I hope this is of some help to some people, well, painters mostly, but yeah. Have a good one and see you in the next video.